Hello, welcome to the channel, everybody. We have two people that I want to introduce you to, two fine young ladies here in Uganda. If you have questions, they have answers. They're going to give us some information about how it is in Uganda, how dating and marriage and the relationships between men and women are here.
Welcome to TLC channel. My name is Moza Shadia from Uganda. I'm a student, well as work. I'm a cosmetologist. I'm a beauty therapist. I'm 24 years.
Okay. Welcome to the channel, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
Hi everyone, I'm Lynette Ngoa. I'm a law student and I work as well. So we shall talk about that working bit of mine and my working area some other time. But as for today, I'm here to welcome you to the TLC show. And please, for more details, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, the TLC channel. Yeah, I'm so glad to be here and I'm so glad to be communicating to you right now. So let's just keep in touch for more good and useful information. Thank you.
Thank you. And we're happy to have you here. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and notification bell. Thank you.
Thank you.
TLC is a channel that will focus on traditional customs, traditional norms in comparison to how they were in the past versus how things are now. We're going to compare what marriage and dating was 30, 40, 50 years ago versus how things are going now, and see how things have changed and really analyze how things have changed. Have they gotten better? Have they gotten worse? So this is what this channel is about, and welcome and thank you.
TLC, basically in full, it's tradition, culture, and love. So we are looking at those perspectives in different ways, and how from the time memorial it has such things are being influenced by the Western culture, how the changing world has really changed everything, and how we see it now. So basically, this is what TLC channel is about.
And I'm really glad that you brought up Western civilization influence and how it has an effect in Uganda, because this stuff is really not talked about, and this is a good topic because when we start talking about it, we're going to start seeing exactly what Western influence is, opposed to the old traditional way of our ancestors and stuff. So I'm really happy to have you guys on the show to talk about this. Let's talk about, okay, name one thing. Let's start with you. Name one thing that's changed as far as marriage from the old traditional way versus now.
Yeah, maybe marriage the Western culture has really caused a lot of negative impact.
Please explain,
on
because
marriage.
you're right. Please explain.
Yeah, like all back in the days.
I guess when it comes to marriage, between the way Africans, the way we are used to doing things, even from the time memorial up to today, things have really changed due to the Western culture. Now, right now, when you look at marriage, there are different types of marriages. And in the Western culture, there's this kind of thing that when children are growing up, going to school, they're taught different genders, and we in Africa we are growing up knowing that there is only one gender.
There's only two. Right.
Two.
Right.
So all you hear about Western, there is what a man can marry a man, a woman can marry a woman, a woman can marry another. Really kind of
sexuals, whatever.
Yeah, that is toxic. I don't know how we can really agree to that.
Right.
We see that kind of thing. It has come to Africa partly, and it's just now eating up everything. It's engulfing the whole of Africa because they think it's the trend.
Yes.
You get.
And let me ask you this: when they're introducing these new ideas about saying that there are more than one gender, does that help the home family life, the old traditional family life of a structure of a mother and father, husband, wife, and children? Does it affect a normal household?
I would say yes, it does. It does totally, because if a man and a man, they have this kind of thing, creating children. So what does really that imply? So I grew up saying you're my father and then you're my mother. Does that really make
Right,
sense?
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make
Okay.
Yes, nowadays I see kids outside Uganda growing up introducing themselves. I have two dads. What does it really insinuate? Saying I have two dads. You don't have a mother, but then you have two dads. Like, we grew up in the 80 years knowing the family is always comprised of a mother and a father.
Okay.
So I don't think it makes sense when you just introduce yourself to the people and then tell them you have two dads. So what shall we think? What will the community pick? Like, and how shall we multiply if people are getting married to man to man, and you understand?
And you know what? I'm glad you said that. How are we going to multiply? Because multiplication happens under traditional marriage customs.
Yeah, exactly.
When a man marries a woman, they get together and they love each other and make a baby and a family, and they have multiple children. But how are we going to multiply if Steve and
Steve and Brian and Brian, you understand? It does not make sense getting married to a fellow man. What are you trying to tell the public?
Right.
Well, we might be saying that, but some people, like, it's our right to do what we want. So what do you even think? What do you have to say about
we are
that?
talking about it, and it is and it is not. Some people take it as bad, but we have to speak out the truth, because this has always been the tradition, like man to woman, not man to man.
Lynette, you're saying that, but then, if I really want it, it's my right. Like, I feel like it's my right. I have to do it.
We know it's your right, but then we have to tell you the impacts and how it is affecting the society.
Does really that concern me?
Well, okay. It does in a way, because we are a product of our environment. Say that you're in an environment that's completely violent. You're not violent, but everybody around you is violent. That puts you under like certain risks and dangers. And when it comes to stuff like this, for example, when you don't agree with the Western civilization idea that traditional marriage does not consist of two men or two women, you also become demonized. According to the West, they call you a homophobe or a phobe of some sort, where they label you as a bad person, that's a bigot, that doesn't accept Western civilization cultures, when you've been already accustomed for thousands of years a certain way.
Oh, it's kind of tricky, but this whole thing of marriage, it's concerning about human rights.
Correct. Because, okay, think about Uganda. The population. Will the population increase if everybody goes with the Western thought of that? Everybody should.
I also have a thought that this prioritization of human rights has also done some harm than good.
It has.
Because this thing of telling people it is your right to do this, it is your right not to do that, you understand, that is how people keep on doing what they're not supposed to do, because they're always like, it is your right, that is your right, you can do this, you can do that. I think they are supposed to be guided about what they really mean by this is your right. They're supposed to be guided about how to use their rights for and how they're going to go about it, not just doing anything anyhow because it is your right. You understand?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is like being under 18, and then because it is your right and you want to get married before even you make 18 years, that is what people will think. It is my right.
Right.
You understand?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think prioritization of human rights has also caused a danger.
Right.
Yeah, she's right.
Okay. Now, let me switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about, we're not going to talk about this stuff. We're going to talk about the modern woman. And we're going to talk about the modern man, just to be fair and balanced, because I don't want to have a platform where we hate women or we hate men. Let's have a fair and balanced discussion and conversation about this. Now, from what I understand, in order for a family to work, a man and a woman have to come together and collaborate. The man has certain responsibilities, and a woman has a certain set of responsibilities. My question to you is, by what age should a man and a woman get married by, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think someone from the age of 25 and above.
Okay, that's reasonable.
It's okay. It's reasonable for them to get married, because that's me. Because someone is mature enough to handle certain issues, and they can decide if I'm getting married or not.
Okay.
But in my opinion,
In your opinion,
25 years of age
Okay.
and above, it's okay.
What about you?
I believe by 25, if someone is financially well, because there is talking about the age of 25, and then someone has nothing at the age of 25, then you can't tell me that you're going to get married, make a family, what are you going to feed them with? So I think 25 is really okay, but then how are you standing financially? You understand?
Is marriage based on financial status?
Not really, but still marriage, like, yes, we can get married. If we get married, you don't, how are you going to fund the family? You don't work, you don't do anything. How are we going to survive? Because it is also about survival. It's not just about love, it's about survival.
It's about survival and economics. But how has that changed from the old tradition? For example, there was marriage in the villages, in the rural areas of Uganda. Like, there's places that, that don't show up on the map. And those people get married. Those people have successful marriages where they raise a family, and nobody's upset. A village girl is not going to complain about the income of the man in the household in the village. Maybe that's part of the Western influence, where we, as a woman looks at a man as, are you financially stable? Like, you might have everything. You have the good looks. You have all of this, but it's always not good enough, because Western mentality is about not having anything good enough, and segueing into since a different sex marriage doesn't work, their alternative is the Western idea that it has to be same-sex marriage, because those are better relationships. Those are financially stable people. That's what they give the impression, but nobody ever talks about them being financially stable. Right?
I think back in the days, and a man and a woman, a woman would have much respect for the man, because he's the head, and which is different now. And the Western culture has brought in a lot, like it. I don't know if it's opening up the eyes, or it's I just try failing to get the right word to use, but there is that equality that a man is equal to a woman in all ways. There's nothing you're telling me.
Saying what a man can do, a woman can do better.
If I can breastfeed the babies, you have to be breastfeeding.
I know, I gotta breastfeed too.
Yeah, you have to breastfeed the kids.
That's right.
Like, it doesn't mean that I have to be there all times doing everything as a woman. Like, you just go and come back, eat my food. You get that kind of thing.
Let me bring this to the topic, because since I come from the Western civilization, I've been very immersed and embedded inside that idea for several years, and it does two things. It's either going to change you, where you follow their Western ways, or you resist against it and you fight against it. For example, if there's this thing called the patriarchy. I don't know if you've heard of it. Patriarchy. This is an idea that men should never be in charge, because men are oppressive, angry, Neanderthal animals, and a woman should be in charge because men are just too toxic, So this is the idea of the patriarchy. So they're trying to eradicate the patriarchy and change it into a matriarchy, where a woman rules from the Western culture.
I think that's a wrong idea.
Okay, explain.
Have you realized that most women, when they're in power, they are very aggressive?
Yes.
Have you realized that?
Yes, I have.
And okay, let me just give a live example. Like, you're pregnant, you've gone to the hospital. You know how those ladies, like the nurses, doctors who are females, how they are aggressive. They are very aggressive.
Yes.
Like, and unlike to the men, they'll be down to earth. So
they're always sweet when talking to the men.
Yeah. So I just don't get that. Like, men, I don't think like men are really aggressive or something.
Right. But
I don't believe in
yeah,
that.
they're really nice people, but at times they are aggressive.
Well, okay.
But same applies to the women.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They're teaching us that all men should be eradicated because all men are bad. And then they want to say that a better alternative is a different lifestyle, like a lifestyle which will make you suitable in their mind as not being overly aggressive, because when you see you don't think masculine, you don't think aggressive. And if you pay attention to the Western world, there's this attack and war on actual masculine men. You're probably not familiar, but I'm sure the subscribers know about this. There's a person by the name of Andrew Tate. He's been arrested by the police. He's been poisoned. He's been deplatformed from social media because he was giving dissenting ideas that were opposite of the Western culture, where he's saying that it is haram. A man and a woman should start a family, and anything outside of that it doesn't work. You know, my question is, perhaps it's not as intense here because we've been seeing stuff on the news, but how do you feel about that?
About the whole idea of
No. Men being these aggressive creatures that need to be eradicated.
I think that kind of aggressive is associated with personality.
Yes.
You know, we have personality traits, and which you can't credit like every man is aggressive.
Right.
You can't say that.
Right.
There are also women who are aggressive.
There are also women, right.
Haven't you seen that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you can't just bring it over and throw it to the men, and you're thinking that they're all aggressive. I don't really agree with that.
Okay. Good answer, Lynn. How do you feel about if a war broke out in Uganda? Who's going to fight the war? Is it going to be a bunch of, or is it going to be aggressive, masculine, heterosexual men who are going to fight the war?
Because the men.
Okay. Will the women fight the war?
No.
Are they aggressive enough?
No.
Okay.
Why is it that to some point I think there are some women that can.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, there is this kind of aggressiveness that when someone murders someone.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And if you're aggressive to something that is really good, I don't think that is the kind of aggressiveness that I'm thinking in my head.
So you're saying that aggressiveness is a natural trait of a man, but it's not always bad. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Everything has a good thing and a bad thing.
Right. Okay. And then my question to you, Lynn. Okay, when should a woman give birth to their first child?
It's quite funny because I think these people have to just sit each other down, and when they are ready, yes, they are supposed to do it when they are ready. So I think when they start living together, they sit each other down and talk about it, and they're like, okay, let's first accomplish this and that, and then by this time maybe we can have a baby. And because whenever the woman gets pregnant when maybe they are not ready, that is when abortion comes in. The man says, I'm not ready for this, of which abortion is also not good.
Abortion is not good.
Yeah, you can lose both the woman and the baby.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think couples always need to sit down and talk to each other and maybe see when is the right time to give birth.
So it should be a decision between the man and a woman.
Yeah, they have to sit and talk about it, because like it is not about pressure. You don't have to be pressurized about giving birth. Yeah, because you still give birth.
Right.
You understand? Though it is not supposed to be at a very late age, so you try and cut it short.
Okay. my next question is, traditionally in Uganda, were the age of giving the first birth, was it younger in the traditional sense than now? Is it different now? Like, for example, there's statistics showing that the firstborn in Uganda of a man and a woman would be 19 years old of age. A woman would be 19 years old when she gives birth to her child. Now that number, it's changing because of Western influence. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I do, but I don't think it was necessarily 19, because back in the days, the moment you start menstruating, they just know you're ready for marriage now.
What age did your mom give birth to?
Yeah.
Or to her first child?
To have a spoon child, actually, I cannot even tell. I've never had time to. I never
my
get
mom
time to
was
talk to her
18.
about it.
Oh,
when she
okay.
gave birth to me.
Okay.
Yeah, and she had no choice.
Oh, she had no choice.
Yeah, she's from Rwanda.
Uh-huh.
That was genocide. By the time they left, she had nowhere to stay.
Right,
so
right.
at that time, she had to get a man.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in that process, that was me.
Right. Okay. But I mean, you came out all right.
So, but by then in the African Tradition Society,
Mm-hmm.
when a girl was the moment I think you start menstruating,
That's when you're ready.
And then the parents are like, yeah,
boobs
you're
have
ready.
come out. So they'll start going to the neighborhood looking for that potential man, and they pull him out for you, and
Okay.
you start a family. Like that'll be.
Yeah, actually, I don't know, but I have a feeling that those marriages used to last so long.
They
yes.
had to last.
You understand, whereby
Yes.
they just they've gotten you someone, but these days whereby I find you at the beach, I find you at the bar, and we are like, okay,
Right.
they don't even last for a month or even 2 months. I don't understand the concept behind it.
I think that time, a girl, by all means, she was groomed to respect her husband.
Right.
By all means, whether what in bad or good, they would
Some
always
level of
be
respect.
there.
Right.
Yes. And the moment that girl goes there, coming back home, it will be a tug of war, because the side of the man has already paid the dowry.
Yes.
So you get, and maybe it has been eaten or something.
Well, good. I'm glad that you talked about dowry. Now, my next question is: do all women deserve a dowry payment?